Hey, Frank. What's happening, man? It's July 3rd, 2026, and I'm here bringing you all the very best technical analysis on the internet. Just kidding. I'm just some nudnik with crayons. Why do I like technical analysis? I believe that it puts the odds in your favor. I think it's much better than guessing. I think it's much better than consulting that crystal ball that you found at the local thrift store, that 8-ball. Although those things are good too, if you want to trade that way. Yeah, I've been at it for a few years. I'm, no expert in this. I'm just an amateur chartist who likes to share ideas. And the reason I like to share ideas is because I believe that by sharing these ideas, it reinforces the knowledge within myself by explaining it. So without further ado, one last thing. Doesn't mean that everything you're going to see on the chart's going to work out. You could see a level and think, I'm gonna go long there. That's going to be a bounce. And you could have a limit sit there and it could just blast right through it into your stop loss. You do have stop losses, don't you? You do trade with them and not the manual ones, I hope. Okay, enough preaching. This is a Micron chart. One day, and Micron, as some of you know, has been one of the star children of the internet as of late, one of the semiconductors. And last week has been showing some signs of wear and tear. You can see that the high 6 days ago was 1255, and it came down to 950.28. What is that in percentages? Let's take a look. So you could look at the price range tool here and put it on the chart and get you, okay. So minus $304.72. That's a 24.28% drop in 6 days. That's pretty hefty. I hope you had some puts up here. So what do I think is going to happen? Well, I think that the semiconductors are showing signs of being in a bearish trend. Does that mean I think they're going to come straight down and to S3? No, not straight, but is that in the cards? Yeah, I think S3 is in the cards. Not, it could come straight down there, but I don't think so. I think we're going to get bounces along the way, and at some point it's going to find support, real support, and then from there it will probably come back up. So where are the clues? Well, the obvious ones are the S1, S2, and S3 on the chart there. Also, what I've learned is the gaps. So you can see here there is this gap here. Gaps like to be filled. So that could be a level 2. And I also like to use other indicators on charts, and I specifically like to use the Fibonacci retracement tool. I think it's fascinating, and that's used by drawing the trends. So you can spot this is a trend from here to here's a trend, right? From here, you could use this anchor point up here as a trend, or you could start from here to here. Let's just try to see what happens. Let's put fib retracement on. They're always drawn from left to right. And let's take it from the shallow one, from here to here. So I'll get zoomed in a little bit here. And let's see if we can get a whole drink of water here. So the first thing that catches my eye is the 786. So 940.09. So these are retracement levels once you put them on, meaning they could be possible spots you could go long at, get a bid at. Now, 786 could be a level, but what I don't like about it is it's already come close. It's kind of teased it. So to me, that kind of invalidates it. I mean, it could still come down and hit it and bounce, but I personally wouldn't. Some people might, I just don't. So let's go down further. Let's use this high as the anchor, and let's just bring this down to this. We'll say this is the trend, right? So the first thing that catches my eye is something I mentioned earlier about the gap fill. So you can see this gap here from here to here, and look at the 786 is right at that gap on this candle right here, this right there. I'll move my mouse away. You see it? Right there. So let's say 780, 781. This could be a bounce. That could be support. Okay. And let's see, let's go down even further. Let's take it down to here. And let's see. Yeah. So any of these levels could be bounces. We could have S1, we could have the 382, we could have the 5 with the S2 with the 618, right? If I were looking for like something like long term, I wanted to get a discount, right? The 618 might be a spot I might consider starting a position at if it gets there. It doesn't mean it will, right? It could, from here, for whatever reason, just go all the way up to $2,000. Do I think it will? No, but it could, right? So, but if I wanted to discount on this, I'd be looking at the S2, 618 might be a good starting place. The other thing is too, is this S3 and 786, those are close enough to me to be considered confluence, right? It looks like it's within about $7, $7, but for a $500 plus stock, okay, let's just call that confluence. All right, so that's 786. Let's go up monthly. Let's just do one more fib on the monthly. This is a monthly chart now, so every one of these candles represents a month, and you can see at one point the RSI was 91.70. It looks like now it's at 77. Still pretty high, but come on, 91.70. Of course it's going to have to correct, right? I mean, how long is it going to stay up there for? So let's move down to here. Okay, so I'm going to say this start of the trend was here, up into here. Let's bounce back to our daily chart and see. What I find interesting is that, remember, look, the 618 is right at this S3. Do you remember a moment ago, this fib was the 786, right? See that? I just moved the start of the trend. So this is the start of the trend down here, up to here. And then look, if I start the trend here, right? Now it's the 786. So I got my eye on you. 520, 513. So if I were looking for a discount on Micron, this is my discount, my long-term discount level. Bargain buyer, frugal buyer right here. What would that percentage be? So let's take it from the top and we'll go all the way down to 520-ish. So that'd be about let's just call it a 60% discount on Micron. I could live with that. Could you? Yeah, long term right there. Again, bounces along the way. So S1, 382, 05, S2. I would probably go with the 618. And then lastly here, I think ultimately if this thing keeps coming down, it could find support at the 618 for sure, or any of these others. But I feel pretty strongly about this 786 S2 down there. And probably you're laughing at me thinking, oh, this thing traded at 1255. No way it's going to 5. I mean, you never know. I mean, I'm just telling you what the chart tells me. Okay, moving on to SOXX. So this is a weekly chart of the SOXX, the Semiconductor Index. And you can see, I'm going to show you something real quick. So I'm going to go monthly. Look at this. It was the June RSI was 88.79. Wow, that's pretty up there. And now I'm going to go to the weekly, and you can see what's notable about this to me is this candle, and I'll tell you why. This topping candle, this engulfing candle, this red engulfing candle is otherwise known as a bearish engulfing candle. So for those of you who do not know about engulfing candles, that means that the whole entire body of the candle engulfed the candle preceding it. With a bearish candle, the top of the body is the open, and the bottom of the body is the close. And the whole entire open and close engulfed the preceding candle. And you can see these tiny little wicks, which represents the high, and then the bottom of the wick represents the low. This whole body of this candle totally engulfed the one preceding it. That's a pretty strong indicator that a reversal is in the cards. I've also put these auto indicators on the charts too, and I wouldn't put too much stock into them, no pun intended, but if you turn them on and they corroborate an idea that might be worth listening to. So I'm going to take this and look at that. BE, it's an engulfing candle. And then when you turn that on like that, or you hover over it, I should say, it gives you the definition. So I would say, yes, this is a bearish engulfing candle. And then, you could do something like you could draw a fib, right? And then you can go, well, pick a level that you want to go long at, right? Any of these, right? 522 could be a bounce. The 05, 618 would be a strong bounce, right? Any of these, right? Could be bounce, 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 bounce. Okay. Moving on to SPX, the S&P 500. This is a trend line taken from a top to a top. So at one point, this was representing resistance. You can see here it breached, came down, and then probably bounced a little bit, and then breached it again, and then came up. So this right now is support. So it could come down and hit it and then bounce. But if it hits it and breaks it to the downside, look out below. S&P right now looks like it's doing okay. Same thing with the Qs, the NASDAQ, but NASDAQ looks a little weaker, right? So same idea, same trend line. So this looks like it's actually much closer to hitting that trend line. Could bounce off of that, right, to the upside. Could also, if it hits it, breaks through it, and then starts just kind of going sideways, look out below. All right, lastly, let's look at Bitcoin. This is a monthly chart. I have no positions in Bitcoin, but I do like it. I like looking at it. It's fascinating. So what I want to show you, for those of you who are interested in Bitcoin, I'm going to start with a fib. I'm going to take it from this low here to this top here. And look at that, right? We talked about Fibonacci before, specifically the 618. Look at that. It came down and hit it. It looks like it hit it a couple times, right? So let's go to the daily so we can get more granular. Okay, yep. So it looks like at one point it came very close and kind of hovered. This time on this candle here, it looks like it hit it and then bounced. So all this to say, 618 right here looks like a line in the sand. It looks like support, holding for now. However, if this thing comes back in and hits it again, it's weaker now. The more times something hits a level, the weaker it becomes. So if it hits this and then starts going sideways, we could start seeing some lower prices for Bitcoin. Any of these levels here, you could pick one, or you could go to your weekly chart and pick one of these levels, right? It could get much uglier for Bitcoin. But for now, it looks like it's holding. Okay, well, that's it for today. Tomorrow is the 4th of July, the 250th anniversary. Happy birthday, America. And I hope all of you have a great, fun, and safe 4th of July. And until next time, take care.